Isn't it exciting? Isn't it exciting?
You must be so thrilled to be back for all of this as well.
You know, it was so nice to go back. And Christian always comes back for the best bits.
Yeah.
Walks in and gets all the glory.
Weddings and funerals.
Weddings and funerals, yeah. Hats, no chickens. No, just saying. That was my colour, wasn't it, ladies?
It was very nice.
It's fantastic to be back. I think the whole arc of the story... Obviously, Dominic Treadwell-Collins has... left now as exec, but I think he did a wonderful job. He also created my character, so that's...
You love him.
I love him, and it was great to come back and be a part of this epic storyline. I must just add, it's the Soap Awards. Voting closes on Friday, if you haven't done it already.
So when you go back there, does it feel really, really comfortable, or because there's been a few cast changes or a few new faces, you sort of feel a bit... out of it.
You know, it's a cliche, isn't it, to say that it's like family and everybody's like... But it really is like family there. It was lovely for me to come back. It was like putting on a nice, comfortable pair of shoes. And, yeah, it's wonderful. Obviously, I'm really good friends with Laurie. She's somebody that's, you know, she has the same birthday as my real-life sister. So there are lots of similarities with Laurie and my real-life sister. So when I was asked to come back and support her in this story, of course, I jumped at the chance. Obviously, I'm on tour with Chicago right now, so we had to squeeze that in. But they worked around my dates.
So come on, tell us what's going to happen to her.
I can't tell you that.
Well, give us a little bit of
tell you that.
taster or something.
You've got to watch. You've got to stay tuned.
Have you got to get black?
Linda Barron, she plays my mother. She is absolutely fabulous. It's such a pleasure to work with her. And you have to go a long way to find somebody camper than me. I'm here to tell you that she is just genius. She's a joy. We're singing show tunes. We're dancing rap. She is truly fantastic.
I thought EastEnders was dreary.
No. That's the thing. It really, really isn't. But she just is legendary, and she's brilliant in these episodes.
Talking of show tunes, you mentioned that because your background. Like when you were 10 years old, you were almost like an early-day Billy Elliot, weren't you? But, you know, you're from Bury and Lancashire.
I am. I'm a Bury
How does a 10-year-old boy from Bury end up at the Royal Ballet?
I'm one of those flexible people. So I hadn't had any formal classical training before I went, and I got into the Royal Ballet School on a medical. When you audition for a school like that, they X-ray you, they look at your bones, they project how tall you're going to be, and they do like a flex test. And I'm one of those flexible people. Which is,
in many different roles?
Yes.
On TV, on the boards, on stage?
I like what you just did there.
That was good.
I really like that.
And your album, and so you really sort of dabble in a lot of areas.
Jack of all trades, as my mother would say. But, you know, it means if you're not doing that, you can do that. And if you're not doing that, you can do a bit of that. I like to do a little bit of all. I'm greedy as well.
And I think we're a bit of reality as well, don't you?
I like, listen, I say I'm one of the lucky ones. I like to do a little bit of all of it. Some jobs you do for love, some jobs you do for necessity.
Yeah.
You know,
and what did you do Big Brother for?
I did Big Brother because my mum has Alzheimer's and dementia. We're 6.5 years down this journey. Anybody that's caring for anybody with Alzheimer's, we cared for her for 4 years at home and couldn't do it anymore. So we found a facility for her. It cost £45,000 a year.
There's your mum, Bridget, is it?
Bridget. She's 80 tomorrow.
She's 80 tomorrow. Happy birthday, and we're having a Kaylee for her up in Warrington. And listen, it's expensive. The care is expensive. They asked me to do the show. I took the money to pay for the care. I'm not ashamed about it. I'm not embarrassed about it. You know, at this difficult time in her life, and I make it all sound, you know, it's not about me, it's about her. She's the one that has to do this. We're the ones that have to watch her do this, but she's the one that is going through it. And it is brutal.
Yeah.
It's just brutal to watch that person.
It robs you of your memories, doesn't it?
It's not just your memory. You forget how to do everything, to swallow.
You were saying that, I read in the brief that your mum hadn't seen you perform for 4 years.
No.
And then when you went into Chicago, she changed her medication. She was able to come and see you, and that was quite an amazing moment for you.
Because she was stroking. She kept stroking. Just before I went into the Big Brother house, I was doing panto in Northampton, and she stroked 6 times.
Oh, God.
In that time. Literally, and the night before I went in, she stroked again, and it was due to her medication. It wasn't due to her illness, and we didn't know that. Anyway, we changed the meds. She came and saw Chicago, and then the irony of it, the next day she stroked again. Wherever she is, however she is, at that time, you go into that place at that time. So if she knows who I am today and she doesn't tomorrow, it's a tough one.
She's very lucky
It's so
to have
tough.
you as a son.
Well, you know, I don't know about that, but I'm just sure I've given her plenty of sleepless nights. I'm sure I've given her plenty of sleepless nights.
Do you think you gave her any stress dreams?
I'm sure I gave her loads of stress dreams.
Do you ever have them? I mean, obviously, we're talking about being on stage and this sort of stuff. Do you ever get them?
Not about going on stage. Stage is something that I love. It's my passion. It's what I do, and it's where I actually have the time to sort of forget about my life. I know when people come and see a show, like they come and see Chicago, you think that they come into the theatre and have 2.5 hours where they can forget everything.
Yeah.
It's the same for us. It's the same for actors. Whatever's going on in our life, we get to put on somebody else's coat, put on somebody else's clothes, be somebody else for 2.5 hours, and forget about our own dreary lives or their own stress in our own life. And that's what it does for me.
And where are you on arguing? We were talking about couples arguing.
Listen, me and my beautiful husband, John, we've been together 14 years, and we have never had a row. Now, I know you're going to say, no, I don't believe you. I'm telling you, that's not to say we don't have disagreements.
Is that because you spend a lot of time apart? Because he's also doing what you do. He's on the road and he's doing shows.
You know, I just think words are powerful, and once you put that out there, once you really turn around to somebody and go, you bleep, 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 that never goes away.
Yeah.
They are so powerful, their colour. And John and I seem to find this way of, if he sees me starting to get agitated, he'll come down, and vice versa.
Yeah.
If I see that he's getting like that, I will automatically pull down. And I just think, you know, if it's not like that, find a better man. That's what I say. Get a better man.
Just click here to watch more interviews with a whole range of famous faces. And click here to subscribe. It's free, so you'd be silly not to, really.
We're going to be back. Both my boys, Ross and Steve, Phil and Grant, and myself, are back. And sadly, for Peggy's funeral. But you know, I'm glad we're all back together, and it's a great honour to be asked to go back and